One of the first change projects we did was part of our grant application, and I tell this story a lot. But the gentleman that walked in, we had to apply for the NIATx grant. We were desperate to get process improvement because that was part of our grant application. But the young man that walked in was a Russian-speaking man. So we went, oh, our change project, oh, suddenly, not only do we not know what we're doing with the change project, but we have this young man that speaks another language. And his sister came in with him. So both of them spoke very broken English. We did our change project, and our change project was to see whether we could get them to treatment within 24 hours because our process had taken 1 to 2 weeks to get somebody through. And we struggled and struggled and struggled through the day, and this is a person that had come in before, and because our process was so long that they would walk out. And they would go back to, with this particular gentleman, heroin use. We were able to get him through the process, get him to the medication that he needed within that day. And it was a small miracle. We didn't know whether we would ever be able to repeat it again, but at the end of that process improvement, his sister came over to us and she said, "You saved my brother's life today." And when she said that, the whole process went from something that we were doing as part of a grant application, something that was mechanical, to something that was real, something that was meaningful. And for us, it's been the fuel for every change project that's come since then, is to understand that it's certainly the individual that walks in the door, but would we feel comfortable with our family members? Is somebody going to care enough about our brothers, our sisters, our mothers, our fathers, our sons and daughters to care enough to make the process work for them? And for us, it meant that what became a grant application became something real, and something meaningful. And it was great that we got the grant. It's always a good thing to report, but frankly, we would have done it regardless because we knew that something had shifted for us in terms of how we did business. And the good news to report is, and it's not always easy to report, the young gentleman is still in recovery. It's 4 or 5 years later, and his sister still thanks us. In a different language, but still thanks us. And we thank her because she taught us a lot about what it meant to do this process. So.